In this tutorial, Sharon will guide us through a reverse pin curl set, focusing on preparation, direction of wave and curl, and brush out and styling techniques. Marcy has thick density and wavy texture. She has a depth of a level 4 and an olive warm skin tone.
My name is Sharon Blaine, this is my model Marcy, and today we're going to do a reverse pin curl set. So the first thing we're going to do here is actually take a side part, and at the back of the part, which is basically the point of origin, which is the centre of the back, what I'm going to do is use my tail comb to take slices, pie slices, all the way around the crown. Now this helps with the radial distribution, and it actually helps get the hair exactly in its position where it needs to sit when we're creating this technique. So working around the head, taking it right through, and we're making sure all the hair is running in exactly the direction that it needs to run. Once we've done that, we come back with the comb and flatten it into the head.
Sharon combs the hair back at 45 degrees from the parting on the right-hand side. She joins the front hair to just before the crown, mindful not to disturb her crown area. Please note that Sharon uses pressure created by her finger to flatten the hair as she combs. Sharon assesses and locates the centre of the C-section. A C-section is the crest or change of direction of the waves. From this point, Sharon combs the hair in a forward direction, approximately 45 degrees, pointing her finger back to the crown for an accurate wave form. Sharon then takes a triangular section following her wave from the back to the front, defining an oblong section. Sharon then places a pin curl in the front. She places her hand underneath her section, and using a tail comb, she slices through the panel at 45 degrees, dividing her top section into appropriate proportions for each pin curl placement. Sharon then pinches the hair at the base of her C-shaped curl. She twists the hair, combs it through, creates a circle, and then untwists the hair. Please note, this technique will ensure that the curl in the top is maintained, whilst the longer lengths are being combed and curled. It also means that the heavier, denser portion of the curl sits on top of the more delicate ends for security and flat-shaped curls. These curls are wound anti-clockwise. Sharon places her pin from behind at 11 o'clock, underneath the layers to avoid pin demarcation, to ensure a perfect circle. Sharon continues with the same process, ensuring the same diameter circle as her previous curl. Sharon is mindful of even dampness, and places this curl slightly overlapping her previous curl. It is important the curl is placed within the section through the top. Sharon continues this process throughout the oblong section in the top. Sharon combs the hair on the left-hand side back at 45 degrees, working below the crown section that she's previously placed, and all the way round to the opposite side. This will form the next C shape in the flat wave. Sharon returns to her left-hand side, and using the same process with her finger, placing it at 45 degrees to the crown, she combs the hair in the opposite direction. This forms the next complete wave. Sharon works this process around the entire head. Sharon then returns to the left-hand side and takes a section approximately 45 degrees along the new C shape. This creates an oblong panel through the side. Sharon continues with the same curling process as her top, ensuring even tension and dampness, even circular curls, and avoiding indentation marks. This time Sharon winds her curls clockwise. Sharon next works in the crown area. This time she takes long oblong sections following the pattern from the parting to where the head rounds. Sharon is mindful of even density. Please note, each section is a little curved following the wave. These are wound anti-clockwise. Sharon continues the same process with a narrow section on the second side, which will sit underneath the first row. These are wound clockwise. Sharon then works the next wave section underneath the previous, combing the hair at 45 degrees back, this time starting on the right-hand side. She places her finger and combs 45 degrees back. She then places her pin curls in the opposite direction to the above section. Sharon is mindful of small, narrow, even proportioned sections throughout this area. Sharon is left with an area just underneath the ear to the nape. She combs all of this area from the left to the right at 45 degrees, then places her finger and works back at 45 degrees, creating a C shape, the same proportion as her above section. This will leave an amount of hair in the nape. Sharon then proceeds to place her curls with the same process in the opposite direction to the above section. With the remaining nape hair, Sharon carries out the same process in the opposite direction. Sharon then prepares her set for the drying process. Drying is essential to this process to ensure a good hold and result. She places a net over the set to hold. She fastens in the nape with a pin and then secures in the top with a knot. This will support the nape area. Sharon places under a hood dryer for approximately 30 minutes. Please note, Sharon checks her drying process after 20 minutes in several areas of the head. Once dry, Sharon removes the pins and uses a long, pronged vent brush and brushes through the set thoroughly. Sharon then uses a small bristle brush to brush the hair through again to smooth. Next, Sharon uses a comb to place the flat wave. She places the parting and works her flat wave down to the perimeter. Sharon works the perimeter to ensure a buoyant curl. At this stage, Sharon chooses to place grips to hold her waves in place. Sharon then applies appropriate product to fix.
This is my finished look on Marcy. As you can see, it's just a beautiful movement in the hair. It's not a tight sort of traditional 20s, but a little bit more free and a little bit sort of younger. I think it's turned out absolutely fantastic. I'm really thrilled with it. And just from brushing it and molding it back into shape. So the main point to remember is when you comb, you must return the brushing and combing back into the original set that you put into place to actually get the strength within the set itself. Good luck with that, and I hope you enjoy doing my pin set.
The final result, a refreshed take on a classic technique with echoes of 20s flapper culture and overtones of Fitzgerald's Gatsby.